Welcome to Punk Loving and Passion.
Hello.
On this episode, I have Jacob from Boomstick. They are out of Nashville area, and they are probably one of the more fun bands to see live, in my opinion. I can't watch them without smiling. They just make me smile. They're fun. And he also makes hot sauce, and it's Lava Hands hot sauce.
Lava Hands Pepper Company. Yes, sir.
Lava Hands Pepper Company. It's amazing. Check that out too. Before we get into the interview, housekeeping stuff. I say it every episode, but just in case, I belong to a network of podcasts called the Alabama Take. They do a bunch of pop culture type stuff, talk about sports and books and music and Star Wars and whatever else. I also do another podcast with my son about, we call it the McFap world. So it's about mythical, cryptid, fairies, aliens, paranormal stuff. If you're into that stuff, pop on over there, check that out. Everybody would appreciate it. And my son would be really stoked. So there's that. And then I have a bunch of dogs. I have a bunch of chickens. You'll probably hear them. It's just how we do it. We're going to get started. Would you like to introduce yourself any further than I did?
If I have to.
You don't.
Hey.
You don't.
Yeah, I'm Jacob from Boomstick. I do vocals and I do artwork and I help with songwriting and I do our booking and I'm band mom too. So yeah, I get to do all the fun stuff.
Okay, so let's get into history a little bit. Do you remember the first, and you can define this question however you would like, but do you remember the first punk song you ever heard?
Maybe like Bad Religion, American Jesus on back in the late 1900s when there were videos on TV. There was that channel called The Box. There was like VH1 and there was MTV and then there was The Box too. And they would play the Bad Religion, American Jesus video on it. So I had to have been like, I don't know, 11. unless you count Primus as a punk band. And then Primus was on Bill and Ted when we were kids.
Yeah, I don't care. I think if Primus isn't under the punk umbrella, they are definitely punk adjacent. Mm-hmm. I don't remember The Box though. I don't think I've ever saw it.
It was like my dad had the big satellite in the yard, like the big ass like metal satellite that was like 20 foot, wide, and it was on one of those channels.
Okay, cool. Yeah, Bad Religion, not a bad way to start into this world.
But I remember probably the first punk CD I got was
what was that?
Offspring Smash. Probably just like a couple years later, and I was in middle school.
Cool. Yeah. Again, not a horrible way to get into the world.
Oh no, not at all. Hey, that's the best selling independent CD of all time. I'm still pretty sure. So yeah, good for those guys.
Yeah. Like I never really got into Offspring because when they came out, I was more like, I'm hardcore, just stupid nonsense like that. But I always appreciated what they did. And I still appreciate what they did and what they do. And definitely will recognize the contributions that they have made towards the world we live in. So how long after, or what was the transition like from, dig Bad Religion, dig Offspring? Is there more things out there? Are there more things out there like that, like this?
I mean, I remember probably being in like 9th grade and a buddy hooking me up with like the Punkorama CDs. Okay. And so that introduced me to a lot of bands, No Effects. And, and then I remember getting Bad Religion Supper at that age too. And like, just like sitting in my bedroom with a dictionary, looking up half of the words that Greg Gavin said. And, like, oh shit, now I know what a misanthrope is.
Yes. He was our English teacher.
Right.
Yeah. Cool. I had totally forgotten about all the Punkorama CDs because they put out a bunch of them.
Yeah.
I don't know because we consume music differently, but the 90s, like comps were huge.
Right. It's more like a local scene now. There's like great comps around an art scene.
Yeah.
But bigger bands like that, not so much anymore.
Yeah.
That was our,
because
now that's what I call music. That was our shit before that happened.
Right. because like labels would put out comps with, a bunch of the bands on their label. It's like Fat Wreck did that,
Right.
and there were a bunch of others. And then sort of smaller or like different labels would just like put out comps with just a bunch of different bands on them. So I remember one was probably like 96 or 97. It was called Punk Uprisings. And I was living in DC at the time. So it was a bunch of primarily like East Coast bands. And I want to say there was something like 47 or 50 different tracks on the CD.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And it had bigger names, so like Bouncing Souls and was on there. And then sort of mid-range stuff at the time. It's like this band called Adam and His Package was on it. I don't know if you ever heard of him. I think you'd dig him. You should check it out. It's ATOM and His Package. But they're also like just really small local bands as well. It's like one of my buddies' band, just pretty localized. They were called the Neurotics, and they were on there too. And I think Converge was on it. Which is like very, very wide ranging stuff. I miss comps. I had totally forgotten about those. Okay, back on track. And we will get sidetracked and go down, whatever, as much as we want.
No problem.
It happens. Okay, so then how did you transfer from that into realizing there was a scene?
Well, that took me a long time, my man. Like, I grew up in, just a little bit north of y'all. I grew up in Giles County and went to school in Murray County. And when I was at that age, there was really not enough of people around to even be a scene. But then after years later, I was a late bloomer and moved to Murfreesboro in my late 20s and kind of got into the music scene then. And I got to playing in a more of a metal band back then called Backwoods Heathens. And that's where I met the guitarist that's in Boomstick now, Mitch. And Mitch has been a founding member of Boomstick since we started. But our bands would play around Murfreesboro, and that's where I got to booking shows. And I met a lot of bands there. And then once I graduated and moved to Nashville, I met even more bands and kind of learned how to book my way around there. And then after that, I branched out and I started meeting all you crazy people outside of our state. So I guess, long story short, that's kind of how I got into it.
Do you remember the first show you went to?
Yeah, my sister took me. There used to be a thing called Dancing in the District in Nashville on I want to say it was on like Thursday nights or some shit like that. And it was free shows. And I'm pretty sure I saw Bare Naked Ladies before they ever like got big. Like down there, there was like a beach ball going around the crowd, and I was probably like 12. But then not too long after that, I think I was 14, saw before Starwood closed, it was like Metallica and Days of the New when they first come out and had that song. And it was like Jerry Control's solo project. That was like 96, maybe something like that. I remember like seeing that was like the first really big show I got to see.
Do you remember the first punk show you went to?
I'm trying to think. Not really. Not off the top of my head.
It's all good.
I'm sure it was probably a bigger band. I remember seeing Offspring in the early 2000s in Memphis, back when Mud Island was going. I remember them playing Bad Habit, and it just echoing through the downtown. Stupid, dumb shit, It was great. I don't know. Put the cuss on here.
I don't care. It's for adults.
Okay.
Yeah, you that's all you want.
I remember that being the first big one. I don't remember if I saw stuff before that or not. Like I said, it took me a while as a kid who grew up in the middle of nowhere,
right,
to start branching out and go into things.
Yeah. Nice. I started going to punk shows early, like small venues, house shows. I was like 12.
Right.
When I first started going to shows. And for me, like, I still remember. And so I went to 2 shows, like, my first two shows were basically back to back. Like one was on a Friday night, one was on a Saturday night.
Oh, wow.
And I knew what the idea of punk was. I was listening to some punk music, but I didn't have a full understanding. And even though I grew up in DC, Northern Virginia area, my first two shows were actually in Huntsville.
Okay.
The first one, if I remember the timeline correctly, was at somebody's birthday, and they rented out a building. And it was my buddy's birthday. So I went and I helped him make the stage, and he was in high school. So he was a couple years older than I was. So we made the stage, we did all that, and it was Skeletal Earth. And I don't remember who else played, but Skeletal Earth definitely played. Maybe FUCT.
Okay.
And then the next night, we went to this local venue at the time. It's been shut down for a while, and they just reopened it. It's called Tip Top. And that one, there's a band. I don't remember all the bands that were playing, but one band was called Inside Lori. The other band was like, I don't know, like the guy, like their singer looked like Darby Crash, and he was like doing a bunch of like Darby Crash stuff. So, like cutting himself and like spitting on people. And I was like, I want no part of that. Like, I don't want blood on me. I don't want spit on me. Like, I want no part of that. But everything else I'm in for. Like, I'm in for the dancing. I'm in for like the aggression. I'm in for like everything else. But I don't want to be spit on. That's gross. And I don't want anybody bleeding on me. That's gross too. But everything else, yeah. And like, when those happened, it was just this like something moved in my soul when I went to those two shows, and definitely, sort of got me on this track of,
I really wish I had that when I
later.
was young. Like I said, where I grew up an hour north of Huntsville, right when you get into Tennessee. So I was an hour from Huntsville. I was an hour from Nashville. It's like the middle of nowhere. And there was nothing going on at that time. I had to kind of migrate out and find the scene. And that's why I'm still like a big kid. And I'm in my 40s now, and I'm going places I've never been to play punk rock. And I'm like, what am I bitching about, man? Like, it's great.
Yeah. But that's part of like one of the awesome things about it, right? We all have our different entrance points. And who are we to judge how anybody got into it, right? Or when they got into it? We're here now, and that's what matters.
Right.
Because not everybody can have the luck of being in a big city, like in DC or in LA or in New York, right? So it's finding how you can, and then making those connections when you can.
And it's really fun now being this age and going to other cities now that aren't so big and that don't have a million things going on. And those kids are just hungry for something fun to do. And you get out and make them smile and make them dance. And like that's what it's all about, man. Because a 40-year-old like us is going to, if they like you, it's like what you're doing right now. They're going to have their arms crossed and they're going to smile and bob their head. Yeah, hey, I like you, man.
Yep.
But those kids act crazy and nuts, and it's fun. And it's what it's all about, man. It's great.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. And like, when I was 15, 16, I never imagined at, 47, I'd still be doing it, but like, yeah. And sometimes I'm reminded of like that feeling when I was, first getting into it. It's like the show we did with y'all a couple weeks back in Birmingham. Like that, for me, that show was so fun. Like y'all are always great. I love watching y'all play. Like I said earlier, I can't watch y'all play and not smile. Like I don't know. You're just fun. I really enjoy y'all. But like Kinder, Gentler, man, those guys, like they are I don't know how they label them musically themselves, but I'm going to say those guys are everything about hardcore that I love. Melodic, sing-alongs, passionate, emotional,
big and sweaty.
Yeah, just yeah. I mean, it was just great. And then Hans Condor was like, yeah, they're another band. If y'all have never seen Hans Condor, highly recommend checking them
Hans
out.
Condor is definitely one of the best local rock and roll bands from Nashville. Like, there's some guys that have been doing it forever too. Like they've been together for 20 years probably.
Yeah, and like great musicians, great showmanship. I mean, just that whole show was just awesome. And like spurred something in my soul again.
We had a really fun weekend with them. I can't wait to get back down and do something else. I'm trying to get them up to Nashville too. I'm
Yeah.
hoping they come play Punk Rock Flea Market in December.
And then last night, so I make and sell sorbet.
Mhm.
And so I've started
Right.
setting up at local shows. And last night I was at a farmer's market. So I had some of the scene kids that help me out and do farmers markets. So anyway, they set up at the show last night. So I was on my way home from the market, which was an hour away. And I was like, I'm just going to go home and go to bed, but I'll just pop in there real quick. And I walked in.
Something happened.
I had no idea who the bands were.
Alabama.
But there was this band up there, and just holy
Hello.
Moses just blew
Hello?
me away.
Where'd you go, Bo?
Oh, I hear you. Okay, cool. There you are.
Like a dog board.
Nice. And they were just like, I don't know, they were like a 5 or 6 piece. And again, I don't know how they label themselves. They're under the punk umbrella somewhat. They're like sort of like this indie experimental, I don't know, but like there was this one dude and he was playing multiple things all at once. Oh, what's going on, puppy dog?
She's not having it.
Yeah.
She's like, there better not be someone from Alabama here. I've taught her well.
Yeah, you should. But yeah, but this one dude, he was playing like keyboards and he was playing the theremin, like that picks up like the energy waves. Yeah. And he was playing like horns, like he had multiple horns and he was doing all of it at once. And again, just something in my soul was like, this is amazing. And they were called Jagalchi, like Jagalchi, and they're from like Indiana.
Okay, cool.
And again, just like the past 2 shows have just both been these great experiences that just, reminded me of like why I love this stuff.
Nice.
Yeah. So I guess that leads into community, right? Which is where most of my interviews go, is to community. So finding it later in your 20s, like how was it walking into this sort of new community for you?
It's awesome to get out and meet new people and new faces and like minds. And it's like I tell the guys in the band, just go, hey man, just go and kick ass and be nice and make friends. Then those friends know friends 3 hours away, and you go there and you do the same thing and you just keep doing that over and over again. And we've branched out and we've met a lot of people from a lot of different states around, and it's like we have a lot of good buddies everywhere, like you guys, that we can come and meet. And I don't know what the hell's going on with this app thing, but
yeah, I just took a picture. So
okay, cool. All right. Yeah, that's been fun, man. It's been really, really fun.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things I still enjoy about it too is, you show up, you play a show, and you meet people from other places that you would never meet otherwise.
I mean, there's punk rockers in Alabama. Like, who would have ever thought that? And they're like, there's people that like, you guys have electricity and internet and like running water and like the normal amount of fingers and toes, and like it's just everything different than what I was taught. It's
and I lived out in Wyoming for a while, and when I was living out there, I was booking shows out there. And you think coming to Alabama is rough. Try going to Wyoming, but there, like it was, so few shows happen out there just because there's so few people. Like kids would drive for hours to get to a show. Like, and it didn't matter who was playing. It didn't matter if they heard of the band or not. Like, there's a punk show, we're showing up because this may be the only punk show this month in the entire state.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. And a lot of times there, we would drive down to Colorado for shows. So we'd go to Fort Collins or Denver, but that was still 2-3 hour drive to go to a show and then drive home that night so we could be at work in the morning.
Oh, wow.
But, that's when we were young and didn't need much sleep. But I think it was, just that passion for those connections that really fueled all of that, and like you were saying earlier, talking to your guys, like meet people, talk to people, make those connections.
It'd be nice to the young kids because you never know. Like in 10 years, they might be your drummer.
They might come to a show in a couple of years and be like, hey, like you're the reason why I started a band, which happened to us recently. yeah, like you never know the impact you're going to have on somebody.
Well, I mean, you play in a band with the grandfather of our whole scene, though. So, that's kind of happened to you guys a lot. But, like, seriously, though,
Yeah.
like, I love Bill to death. And, like, Noah, I remember you were asking, like, what the first punk shows I saw and, like, stuff like that. But, like, when I was young and, like, before I really even got into the punk scene, like, first started playing shows and stuff like that, like, I
Mhm.
remember Random Conflict is, like, the first patches and, like, T-shirts you'd see of, like, somebody wearing back then of a local band, like, before I ever even knew who they were, And
Yeah.
then I met Bill probably in, like, the early 2010s or something like that and had them come play in Columbia one time with my old band. Bill's been playing for decades, longer than that.
Yeah. I mean, he's been playing since like 83, I think.
Right.
Yeah. And he's still like, I mean, every now and then he's like, we need to be playing shows, like multiple times a week. And I was like, Bill, that's like, I'm not driving to Chicago for a show and driving home like that night. I'm not doing it.
No. You're gonna get 2 more shows on the way back.
Yeah. Wait, no, I mean, he's like, we're going to take any show offered to us, doesn't matter where it is, and we'll just go and play and come back.
Yo, hey, let's go do it. Let's go play in Chicago. And I've got Indianapolis, Louisville, and Nashville on the way back. So let's do it.
Nice. Yeah, we can do
do that easy.
Yeah.
We just got to get Bill and Max to bed early.
Yeah. Make sure they take their Metamucil.
I told Johnny Decay and Max and Bill the other night they need to start a punk band and move to the Villages in Florida. They can have that scene on lock.
Yeah. The retiree community. Oh, that's what they can call them. They can call themselves the retirees.
Get little golf carts with like black flags on them.
Yep. Put little anarchy stickers on them.
Right. Punk stickers all in the back.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, actually the interview before this, I interviewed a guy out of Ohio somewhere. I can never keep them straight. Cincinnati, Cleveland,
right.
Columbus. I don't know. Ohio has a bunch of C cities. But he's in a couple bands up there. And talked about like going up there and doing shows with him. But again, that's part of the magic of this all is like, who knows somebody somewhere? Cool, let's go.
And that's like, Boomstick had this really fun long ride too for like 7 or 8 years to where I always knew we could do what we were doing now, but we get tight and then someone would quit, or we get tight and someone would move. It's like every time we get decent enough to start playing around, like we never really broke out of Middle Tennessee. But then thankfully a few years ago, like we got the right people in the band, and since then it's like, all right, let's go. Like we can all work 9 to 5 jobs during the week, and there's so many places that are 4 or 5 hours, from Nashville that we can go hit and then come on back and be back on Monday, or, if we need to take a little time off or whatever, make it a little farther, that's cool too. And, we can do that, but we've been taking advantage of it, and it's been fun the last few years.
Yeah, that's awesome. And no matter where you go, it's like you're hanging out with your homies, right?
Right. It's just a big party, anywhere we go. But now, hopefully, we're old enough to know how to control ourselves and know our limits and not do all the dumb shit that we would have done 20 years ago. Still have fun.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah, that's part of it too. It's like, being the age as we are and not succumbing to those cultural norms of, work 9 to 5 and wear a suit. And it's like, yeah, we work, but we also haven't given up our values.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And I'm one of those people too. Like if I'm sitting around doing nothing, I'm bored. And I feel like I need something to do all the time. So I feel like I kind of have 3 jobs. Like I have my 9 to 5 and then I have my paper company. So I'm either like making hot sauce or pickles or seasonings or like something like that. I made 40 pints of pickles on Saturday and 6 quarts to get ready for some of the next events we have coming up. And then if I'm not doing that, then I'm screening T-shirts for the band or making patches or doing something like this or trying to book something. Or I got to keep going and doing something at all times. I'm one of those people. So
yeah, no, I mean,
gonna
I get
fucking do itself, man. The T-shirts they gonna make themselves. Ain't nobody gonna go hang up all these damn flyers. We got to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get you. Yeah, because so I don't have a 9 to 5, and I'm very lucky and thankful that I don't. But so I make sorbet and ice cream. I guess that's my quote unquote job. But then I also like buy and sell collectible toys. So I do that, and then like I do this podcast. I do another podcast with my son. Yeah, it's like I'm not good at sitting still either. Like I need to be. Oh yeah, and then in my band, right?
Right.
And then my band too.
Put up with Johnny McKay, like that's a full-time job in itself.
Yeah, Johnny's a good guy.
I love Johnny. Johnny's my brother, man, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, my band is such a mismatch of people.
You can call them that.
Yeah, I mean, we're just such a hodgepodge of oddballs, but we work. I enjoy it. And like you were saying earlier, somebody moves away, somebody quits, somebody does whatever. That's how we've been with bass players. But we just got this new one, and I think she's going to be really good. We had practice a couple nights ago.
Okay.
And we wrote 2 new songs at practice, and those are the first new songs we've written in a long time.
Sweet.
Yeah, and practice was like, here's 2 new songs. Like, it just happened. And that was a really nice feeling.
Nice. Can't wait to hear them, man.
Yeah. What else? What else are we going to talk about? I got a question for you.
I'll make up an answer.
I'm trying to figure out how to word it. Because it's more of an idea than a question at this point in time, but I don't know. We'll figure it out. I guess earlier, I really enjoy seeing y'all play live. Like, I can't watch it without smiling. Like, it looks like y'all are having a good time up there. Really bought into everybody enjoying the show. Is creating joy something important for you? Or is that something like you thoughtfully do? Or is it something that just sort of happens?
Well, of course it is. I guess with our music, I want to convey, like, I want to have thoughtful lyrics. I want it to be intelligent, but yet snarky and to make you think. And I want to make you feel something. A lot of it's kind of aggressive, and that's your therapy, and you're letting that out. And I want our shows to be that, but at the same time, I want you to have fun, and yeah, I want to make people dance, and I want to make people smile, and that's what I think of. A whole lot of us probably can't afford therapy and don't have great insurance and stuff like that. And these punk shows are that for us. Yes. That's what it's always been for me, like getting out in the pit or that unity for sure. And
and I think that's what I strive to do as well is, I want people to feel something when they're watching us. Because I know for me, like listening to music, like the music I really like, it isn't always like the quote unquote good music, but it's music that makes me feel. Or the bands I really like seeing them live, or it makes me feel something. It's not just this grocery store.
All right, here's the nerd college boy in me that I will say that, like, the Telecommunications Act of 1996 that let all the corporations buy up the radio stations, and now every radio station kind of plays the same playlist, because all of those songs, what they really are in the long run, is just the glue that holds the commercial together, and they don't need your normal layman, being challenged by a song or lyrics that they hear because they're afraid they're gonna turn to another station. They don't need an 8-minute song, because they're going to turn to another station. This is just the fluff, in between your car commercials and what have you, on stations. So, yeah, I don't want, and I don't think you want that from your music either. I want our lyrics to make someone think, or challenge maybe something that they've been taught that's fucked up, because I'm sure that we were all taught a lot of fucked up things when we were young and have had to overcome those and, biases, and whether it be religion or racism or homophobia or, especially people our age, the young kids, they didn't, by the time they came around, it was their parents hopefully had already gone through that and taught them different and more. I'm sure that it's not everybody, but with our age, there's a whole lot of that we had to educate ourselves out of. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I want to challenge those cultural norms and the bullshit that we were led to believe when we were younger and be like, hey, that's not cool. And
Yeah.
even though I'm not gay or like anything like that, but I'm definitely an advocate. I don't feel like anybody
Right.
should be challenged over who they choose to love. I don't really think that anybody should be challenged over anything that not hurting somebody else. Do what you want. There's a whole lot of shit that I don't like and I think it's fucking weird. But I think those people should be able to do it. Like I don't like there's a lot of rich kids that drive $100,000 4-wheel drives that never go into mud. But I think that they should be able to do that if they want, even though I think that's fucking weird.
Yeah.
It just yeah.
I
It
gotcha.
ain't hurting nobody else, so fuck it.
Well, I think some of your songs sort of are along those lines, right? And some are more fun and some are more serious and some sort of combine the two, right?
Right, right,
Like throw rocks at Nazis, right?
right.
I think one of the ones that I'm horrible at remembering names of things, so I apologize. One of the songs I enjoy, which is sort of this fun thing, but also talks about the serious thing, or my interpretation of it anyway, and I could be completely wrong, is your song about traffic in Nashville.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
I guess
hold on.
it's fun, but we tried to make it sound stressful at the same time because that's
Hold
what
on.
it is. Traffic here sucks.
Yeah.
Like last week, I say in jest on stage sometimes. Like there's a lot of places in Nashville that are an hour from Nashville.
Right.
And even worse lately, there's starting to be a lot of places in Nashville that are an hour and a half from Nashville. Yeah, that fucking sucks, man. And we're one of the fastest growing cities in America that has no public transit. We have no MARTA, like anything like that. It's just stupid buses around that take forever to people to get anywhere. But you can't have poor people using the rich people's Walmart. They don't want that. So every time it comes up on the ballot, it gets shut down. So I don't know. So what can we do? We'll just sing a song about
Yeah.
it.
Like, yeah, sometimes that's all we can do
Yeah.
is just sing a song and bring attention and do the best we can. We all can't save the world every day.
We have plenty of pedal taverns, though. We have an abundance of pedal taverns. So I guess that's the solution. And we also, lately, we get a tunnel for the rich people to drive their Teslas from the airport to downtown, which is going to solve all of our traffic problems as well. So we have great minds that are on top of the situation, and it's all going to be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Cool. Okay. So, what gives you hope?
Dissent, the fire that is inside of like-minded people to say, fuck that, that's not right, and I'm going to do something about it.
Nice.
That's all we can really hope for at this point, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And we've been talking about 45 minutes, so I'm going to start wrapping up, just being respectful of your time.
You're good, man.
So where can people find your stuff?
We're all over the internet. We've got a Facebook. It's facebook.com/boomstickbandrock. It's the same thing on Instagram. We're on YouTube and Pandora and OnlyBands and all that stuff.
How about Lava Hands?
Lava Hands has an Instagram. It's Lava Hands Pepper Company and a Facebook as well.
Cool.
Just DM us, holler. You can find us at local punk rock flea markets and Muddy Roots. We'll be at the next Nashville Punk Rock Flea Market on July 11th and 12th at Eastside Bowl. So you can come catch us there. We'll be at both of the Kentucky Punk Rock Flea Markets. One of them actually just got moved to Cincinnati. So I guess it's actually the Cincinnati Punk Rock Flea Market now, but we'll be at it and we'll be at the one in Lexington. Yeah, Muddy Roots this fall. For sure.
Cool. What are you currently listening to?
You and this fan in my living room.
Yeah.
What I own my vinyl on the deck right now. The last thing I listened to was Baroness's Blue album. I really like stoner rock, so I listen to that a lot too. And I also brought back with me on that trip not too long ago to Hans Condor records I've been listening to, and I got 2 Stuck Lucky records from the Louisville Punk Rock Flea Market not too long ago I've been listening to. And yeah, I guess that's it.
Cool. What should people be listening to?
No Asylum from Huntsville,
Thank you.
Alabama.
Thank you. What else should people be listening to?
What else? I mean, that was a really good recommendation.
It is. I just
I think. I mean, how am I going to top that?
I don't know. I mean, there can be like a second place.
That's second place in Nashville. I'll give a shout out to our buddies, the Catastrophes. They just released some stuff that's really good. Anything that Cough and Curse does out of Knoxville, I think people should pay attention to. They're awesome. And our buddies from Memphis, Cease and Desist, just put out some new stuff too. Check them out.
Cool. Anything else you want to say before we wrap it up?
Wow, man, I really appreciate you having me on.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you taking the time.
I think next time you could probably get somebody more astute. You know,
this has been a fun conversation. I
have a really good
enjoyed
face.
this conversation.
I have a really good face for radio, so you know it works out in the long run.
Cool. Well, thank you again, my friend. Thank you, everybody who listens. If you like what I do, tell your friends. If you think you have a good story, reach out to me. I'd love to have you on. I'd love to talk to you. Yeah, with that, with hope, love, and compassion, this is your episode for tonight.